live for YouTube viewers. This is a recording of the basically podcast-ish version of a review of basically Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2.
Right.
This should be very interesting. Alright. Trails of series. How do I put it? Do you know that this game was a nightmare getting localized?
Yes, I remember, especially back when it was exclusive on the PS3 and the PS Vita.
No, just localization in general coming to the West. This game was a nightmare.
I'm just telling people what original platforms it was
Oh
on.
yeah, it originated on the PlayStation 3 and the Vita. Also, it's highly recommended you buy the PS4 version of the 1 and 2 because it's practically the superior version. You get all the 3 DLC and stuff like that. You don't have to pay for it, unlike the
60
PS3.
FPS.
Yep. Oh, yeah, we went to the frames per second. And, well, we'll just be playing a little bit of the gameplay of 3 while we're at this, but, I will say this, everyone will think, oh, all the characters are one-dimensional characters. Okay, I can give you a one-dimensional character in a nutshell. I'm evil. Voldemort. There's a one-dimensional character. I'm evil for the sake of being evil. Or, I'm the protagonist. I have these bog-standard weird Zenkai boost powers just because of plot armor. And I'm always looked at as a saint. Yes, if you get what I'm taking a crack shot at, yes, I took a crack shot at that, just as a reference. As a shonen, typical shonen protagonist. No, all the characters, even the ones on stream, are multi-layer characters. Even the villain himself is a multi-layer character. Actually, he has, like, the oddest motivation in general. It's almost like he, from what I've spoiled a little bit on 3, he wasn't intentionally all evil. If you really look at what he's doing, it's similar to what the Nazis did. Well, we're intentionally doing. I'm not even going to go into the fact that the Chancellor is literally called the Iron-Blooded Chancellor, and if you look what he did and how he acted, he literally acts like the historical figure Bismarck. Look it up. He's called the Iron-Blooded Chancellor, which was Bismarck in real life. I'm wondering when the localization people, if they decide, you know what, since this guy's so much like Bismarck, let's just call the Iron-Blooded Chancellor. Add that in there. Anybody who's knowing localization or anything, if that's his actual thing in even Japanese, that's kind of fucked up. Because it's the Nazis. Rin as a main character, okay, here's the complex part. I'm aware of the ending of 4, and I'm aware there's a stinger ending of this, but I don't know all the context on it. See, there's a difference between context and contact. What is it, context and contact? Ugh. I need context the entirety of the story. Just working on an ending alone doesn't help me that much, because I don't know how the road led to Rome. What caused the fall of Rome, okay? It just fell. So there's no context behind that. Now, I will say, when it comes to 3, because we're just going to dabble in 3 in here, Rin is nothing but a political tool.
Yeah.
This guy is getting used constantly. And all your friends that you see in this game are basically no help to this poor guy, even though they know he's got a freaking sword of Damocles over his head. I'm like, dude, you're one of the freaking nobles. You're with the Commonwealth people, the Common faction. Why don't you help Rin out here? Do you know how much political power every one of these characters has by 3, Libra? Like a shit ton of political power. Yet they just it's like they're almost deadbeats. Oh, we're gonna feed you to the iron, you know, the oh god, what is it? The Iron-Blooded Orphans. What?
The Ouroboros.
No. Just Bismarck's men, his soldiers.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
Bismarck.
Rufus. Yeah, and I love. And it's horrible in 3 because we're just touching on 3 for a while because this plays a big part in why Rin is a multi-layered character. I mean, in the beginning, he seems like your typical, "Yay, I'm the protagonist," correct? In the very first game, anyway.
You didn't get his story until 2 because they wanted to make it where
You
he's
wanted
the
to
one
like
solving everybody else's problems and learning their backstories. Then second, they wanted to focus on the main character and say, hey, this is what he was all about, basically.
I'm not even going to get into the fact that Rin is incredibly psychologically damaged, even before he got to this school.
Yes.
He has a
He had to put up
massive...
with so much garbage, too.
Although I am aware there's a side quest, I don't know how you do it though, but I'm aware there's a side quest where he tweaked the title of Blade Master. Even though he's the only one who uses the one sword style, 8-leaf style I believe it is.
Yes.
There's different variations of the style and other people know the style, but his variation is specifically designed for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, technically, he is the only one aware of this specific style of the 8-leaf style. Although it was an interesting fact when Laura's dad just kicks his ass in the first game to just knock him across the head like, stop hiding your power.
Battle complete.
And then we get to use it like crazy in number 2. I get to use my Zenkai boost like crazy. Oh, I'm also aware we have Yororichi in number 4. Celine gets a human form, and it's literally Yororichi. I don't know the context or what her role plays. I saw it because it was on a freaking image. And I'm like, that's freaking Yororichi from Bleach. You've seen Bleach, right?
To an extent.
But you know who Yororichi is.
Yes, yeah.
Urahara's
talking
chick.
about Celine.
Yeah,
he knows what,
she
what
has
happens
the
to
cat
Celine.
form, and then when she transforms to a human, she looks like a hot chick. And that's Celine. I'm like, Trails of Series. Trails of... When you created Celine, please tell me you did not have the idea of creating her to look almost exactly like Yororichi, a furry Yororichi. I mean, come on, did that make you laugh when you saw her real form? Did that pop in your head at least, Bleach?
Well,
I don't know the context.
When I saw it, no, I didn't think of Bleach at first, but then when you reminded me about that, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Because what was Yororichi in the Soul Society arc? A cat.
A cat.
What
a
is
kitty.
freaking
Celine?
Celine? A cat. But a very funny cat and a very pessimistic cat. I mean, I thought I was cynical and pessimist. Oh my god, this cat puts me to shame.
I was gonna say that I like how the cat just barks orders around and 1,
Rin
2.
finally puts his foot down on 3.
She kind of gets a little bit mellow by 3, and then 4 she's actually useful.
Well, in 3 I've noticed they've shafted most of the older characters, what would we call, we'll just call them legacy characters. The old class they've been favored for.
I kind of hated how they nerfed Emma. I know why they had to do it, but I was like, oh man, you nerfed Emma.
But here's the thing, another reason I've noticed, they nerfed her because you're not playing as her constantly. I'm noticing that. Did you notice that too?
I understand this at the same time, but like,
if you had her traveling around like you did in 2, yeah, don't nerf her. But if she's only in there for certain dungeons, okay, a nerf makes sense. But it still sucks, okay? Because we all want that broken combination.
And actually have control of her, they should have just gave you abilities right then and there. But I guess they wanted to do it for the sake of, story convenience.
And I'm not going to mention that I will never forget that Sharon proved super useful in that she definitely was an Ouroboros agent in 3. You can tell that. They're like, dude, you turncoated, right?
Battle complete.
We don't like turncoats. They mentioned that in 3. I found that hilarious. She's like, last I checked, I technically considered free roaming. It's actually funny, is everybody's, like, either has a psychologically messed up problem that they get over in the first game. I'm not going to get into the fact that, how in part 3 they literally just, like, bashing Rin. Apart from Rin being a political tool, he is constantly being called a ladies' man.
Yeah, that was the most funniest part, actually.
It gets even funnier because you met some of the side characters and the other classes go, Let me guess, Rin. You knew her when you were in class 7. And Rin at this point is just facepalm like, it's not my fault that I was surrounded by a lot of women in my time of school. And then there's that one that works at the cashier. She hates your guts.
Engage.
Because I think of the dismemberment of the noble faction or something that her father was in. Oh god, that was hilarious. But yes, and don't get me wrong, I saw in 3 and 2. I didn't see the Bismarck reveal, kinda, but the I am your father, that was kind of a milestone. That was a massive red herring, even in the first one. Remember? They show a flashback of Rin when he's young, and you see a silhouette.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that, and then you see, later in the game, you see silhouette still pictures of Bismarck. Or the Chancellor. For gosh sakes, he's the Chancellor. He has to be evil. He's the Chancellor. All Chancellors are evil and fierce. The Chancellor has been very odd with controlling of the Senate lately. Sorry. Star Wars reference. I just have to. Your favorite character that got massive character development in 1 and 2? Apart from Rin, because Rin literally goes through a massive character arc leading from... It starts in 2. His arc doesn't start until 2. That's the unfortunate sad part. And it doesn't conclude until 4, from what I'm aware of. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But in 3, it's already getting bashed over the hammer. In 2, it's just starting. Because, I'd hate to say this, with the crap that we got... by the way, in 2, when you buy this, there's this extra dungeon that you make these characters in the Crossbell arc, which we never got localized. So, yeah, you're going to be looking at... I don't know these characters, nor do I care about. They're not Joshua, they're not Estelle, they're not... You know what I mean? Any of the other people from the Trails of the Sky series. Because we're missing the Crossbell arc. That's the downside to this whole thing. It's a duology, but we never got it. But we have all the... Unfortunately, but there are fan translations of it. And you'll have to go through hoops and ladders to get them. So have fun there. But favorite character apart from Rin in 1 and 2.
I like Elise. I like Laura. I like frickin' Milliam. Guys is so. Frickin' Machias is okay.
You know, I use Machias as my main...
in combat, he's useless.
Elliot's a ship rat. Nobody cares about Elliot. Elliot can just go sitting as a ship rat. I never used Elliot in 1, 2, and even in 3. He doesn't even get useful. He is a duck rat. I find more use of Machias than Elliot. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on Elliot Smart. He's a useless duck rat. Who happens to come from a noble family. That's all. That's it. Usus and Machias had better chemistry and development than that freaking kid did.
Rufus is good to a certain extent, although I still never used him by the end. Because let's be honest, the freaking I don't know what's with the games, but they make the females have the most broken effects ever.
Dancers.
Hang on, I'm being called. Can you hold the fort?
Yeah. I'll hold the fort. Just make sure it's not too long. But yeah, there's a lot of things. Rin is for one. The multi-layeredness is interesting. The theme of basically that there's always multiple themes throughout these games. Now I have played Trails of the Sky. I'm aware of the Joshua Estelle relationship and all that stuff. So I'm aware of that one. And technically that game is mainly a duology. Trails of the Sky is. But you basically should just play Trails of the Sky and Trails of the Sky second chapter. The third one is basically like an epilogue-ish to a degree. I fiddle with it. Now, the fact that the bracer concept is in this is pretty cool too, because as you're doing it, you're basically doing bracer work.
Alright, I'm back.
I also like the fact that they don't have just cutscene power.
No, they don't. Well,
in 1 and 2. Well, in 3 they did that shit. That pissed me off. I'm like, dude.
Well, actually, the teacher did. Remember the teacher?
Well, that's the exception. She's your mentor. You know what I mean? That's technically not. But I'm referring to all the other Class 7 didn't just have cutscene power.
They don't have cutscenes power. They keep them tame, which is good.
You can use the powers in the game.
I wouldn't like it if somehow they just all became Mary Sue's. No, they needed time to develop to become overpowered.
Oh yeah, and Trails of Cold Steel is basically this. I do find it funny is why are Class 7 literally just making Ren suffer? I mean, I'm going to have to finish 3, and I'm get the stinger, but I've got 4. But Class 7 has literally made Ren suffer for 2. What's the time skip now? About 2 years, maybe? Since 2?
Pretty much.
The man was sitting on the bench in the mountains. Patrick is a better freaking side bro character at that point, and that's sad. Because I wanted to smack Patrick in 1 and 2. What the fuck, man? How do I like Patrick better than like Usis or Machinus or some of the male characters? What the fuck did you do?
The only male character I liked was Gaius.
No, I'm referring to of the legacy characters in 3. When it comes to 3, why is it that he's the only character that's the massive bro character? Patrick's like, yeah, I'll get it done for you, man. I got the political power. I know you're being used as a political tool. He understands Ren's situation better than Class 7 does. Is that depressing? He understands it from a political level and a personal level because Ren was crashing at basically Patrick's place for an entire winter. When he wasn't fighting in a civil war. Go figure also the reason why, you know, like I said, we're going to be just touching on 3 here or there. Up to a certain point where Ash's hometown is, okay? That I'm aware of. I stopped there because I found out about a stinger. And then Corona happened.
The cliffhanger ending. That's why I stopped.
Dude, if I wasn't able to access 2, and I bought 1 and 2 at the same time, if I had gotten to ending of 1, and that was it, I'd been pissed. And I'm aware that the stinger ending is just is worse than 1 stinger ending.
We need to find a way to get you 4. You need 4.
But yeah, but I will say that they are good at building up to a finale. These games have really good thematic finales. Like 1, for instance, it's always been implied that the teachers were uber strong, and they were side characters anywhere. You never could recruit the principal or, you know what I mean, Thomas or any of them, or the freaking teachers at Thor's Academy branch. They're implied they're uber strong. You know what I mean? They're like, not branch, there was a branch 1. At Thor's Academy, my bad, the branch, it was assembled in the 2nd one. I mean, 3rd one. They're implied that all the teachers are like, uber strong. Well, they can take out mechs. By themselves. That's freaking over on a Mary Sue level. And this is the ingenious part. It'd be very easy to make them Mary Sue's if you used them or brought them into the thing. But the thing is, they even have a legitimate lore reason why they can't do it. They're old. They're not as young as they do. This is like they've become literally glass cannons. They're like, yeah, I can go all out, but it's only going to be this 1 battle. After this, I'm going to be sitting in my recliner for a few months. So, no offense to old people. That's just the truth. You know, at 1, it shows it. The only people who aren't going to be is that young general guy, you know, and Sarah. It's Sarah, right? It's Sarah, the teacher is Sarah, yeah.
Sarah, yep.
Sarah, yeah. That's it. Everyone else, you're gonna be sleeping on the benches with your back pain and shit. Not being offensive again, it's just literally true. And that was actually good writing. Do you know how hard it is not to make those characters constantly appear and spam them with Mary Sue's? If they could do that shit, you could take out a mech with a freaking spear. I'm sorry. The mech thing was like, what? By the way, I saw the crow reveal coming a mile away.
Oh.
The crow. I'm referring to in 2. Oh. 1 and 2. I know he's about somehow. I don't know how. I don't know the context of that, okay? So don't give me context. Context matters.
They sadly don't explain him until 5.
Don't.
So.
That's why I said context matters. I want to know the context much later. Find out the context of what the fuck. But I saw the Crow reveal of him being Mr. X. Yes, Mr. X. Whatever. Darth Vader.
His name is C.
C. Literally Darth Vader. That guy looks like Darth Vader. I'm sorry. The Star Wars, you used a lot of Star Wars moments in 2. Luke, I am your father. Bismarck. Oh, Ren, I'm so glad to see that you've done well, my son. I'm like, you literally just pulled Luke, I am your father. The most evil man in the setting, Bismarck. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep calling him freaking Bismarck. I did in my original review. So, yeah. They were really hard, heavy fisting some of this.
You're eventually gonna get the last Trails of Cold Steel somehow.
Oh yeah, you're
not
right.
gonna be missing out on that story. You have to find out the conclusion.
I really do, and I want to find out how freaking Celine turned into Yurichi. By the way, Yurichi is one of my favorite Bleach characters, so that makes it the stinger more worse for me. I'm like, damn it, man! Why is Bleach one of my favorite Bleach characters in here? Except a furry. But, I mean, I'm sorry, I did love the fact that in the very first one, she hijacks Valmar from Rin. That was messed up. But he's like, wait, no, you can't do. And then, welcome to the mountains, Ren. It's been 2 months. You've been in a coma.
She did it for a reason. His ass would have been dead.
Can I just ask, where was? Never mind. The mech put him in stasis for 2 months. Nice work on a 2-month science skip of how bad this Civil War turned out to be. And all it was a massive power grab. Because basically once they thought Osmond, because his name's actually Osmond, it's not Bismarck. When they thought Osmond had died, no, she didn't. It was a trick. There is a lore reason of how he survived a freaking heart shot. I am aware of that much. I was told I was like, that's bull, and someone goes, there's a lore reason in 3 days. Explain it in 4. Is it 4 or 3 where they will explain the heart shot? How he can survive a freaking heart shot through the heart.
They don't explain it until the final one.
That's what I meant. They literally explain it.
It's unknown if he's actually dead. It's implied that he's alive, but you just don't get the full, like, is he actually alive or dead?
Or is he an undead?
Yeah.
Undead's the thing in this setting too. There are undead. People who have lived quite a while past what they should. By every method. Huh?
Orin from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. We're just gonna go with Orin. We don't want to spoil too much, but hell, we're spoiling a shit ton in this game. I liked that in the first game, it was all bracer work.
Everybody and their mothers play Final Fantasy X. We can spoil that.
No, I'm referring to spoilers in this game. This specific game.
No, yeah,
we're gonna be spoiling the shit out of the first 2. The first 2 have been around since the Vita and the PlayStation 3 era. Rip the Vita, rip the PlayStation 3. We know the store's shutting down. It's about damn time. We're into like.
I was gonna say they had it going for a long while, so why not? Just I think it's time.
Even old Halo servers have died by now. Halo 3 servers dead.
And, I mean, if you purchase their games, you keep them. It's not like they're fucking completely taken away from you.
Yeah, from what I understand, basically you'll be able to access it, but you'll only be able to go to the download menu and re-download. From what I think someone told me. You just can't purchase. You can't purchase anything or any of that. But these 2 have been out since the PS3 era. We can spoil the shit out of these. But we can imply, like we're doing with 3, because I haven't fully beaten 3, and I'm already seeing problems with Ren's psyche already. He has post-traumatic stress disorder. And who the hell wouldn't? From what is implied, even in this little extra thing, Ren was doing a lot of wet work, while his friends were off lollygagging around. I'm sorry, I'm bad. I sound like I'm coming hard on old class 7, but I really am. I really just... Ugh. It's like after they find out, you know, I am your father. Let's shaft it. You know what? Let's just. Ugh. Did that piss you off? Doesn't it feel like completely different around it?
I was just like, at this point, I kind of wanted Bismarck to suffer in 2 because he's the reason Crow got pierced in the first place. They literally just let him get killed because, you know, oh, we needed to stop this other guy, which I forgot his fucking name.
Duke Cayenne.
Duke Cayenne.
It's Duke Cayenne. What's messed up is I didn't see the Rufus reveal. I didn't. The Rufus reveal was one where I was like, huh? Did you see the Rufus reveal? Even from a guy like me who analyzes fiction, that was a well-done twist. The reveal of...
Well, let's be honest. I was growing suspicious of him by 2 anyway. And as soon as we went to 3, I'm like, yeah, there's something funny going along.
Like, to me, he was a guy who I honestly thought he had a lot of political power, a lot of political sway, but at the same time, he's like, I don't want to fight this is a stupid power grab war. You know what I mean? He's like, I can't join the neutral faction because I'm a noble. So I'm stuck in the noble faction. Well, you know what? Why don't I undermine it from within?
It's my turn.
Give Grin access and literally give him the golden ticket to, you know, win. I figured he was an Ocelot. You know what? You know Ocelot. Anybody who doesn't know Metal Gear? Ocelot from Metal Gear?
He's not a jackass like Ocelot is.
I thought he was an Ocelot by infiltrator wise. By double agent.
Oh.
I thought he was just literally a double agent. And, you know, he's playing for one side when really he's playing for your side. And it was probably...
he sort of kinda is a double
agent.
agent.
But he's an Iron Blood orphan. And that's the twist. He technically was, but in the worst possible way. The way you didn't want him to be. Am I the only one who knew?
Yeah.
Am I the only one who really laughed my ass off when Rin just cussed out Claire for just covering up the Bismarck truth? And he's like, "Wait, you've been traveling around with me. You've had my back to assault me. You couldn't just let me in one little damn detail."
I'd say that went well.
Yes, I have Altia in her cat form, or her bunny outfit that she wore during the war.
Yeah, Altina wears a new getup in 3. She kind of tires the whole bunny thing, which is fine.
But they call her Bunny Girl regardless. The old class, oh look, the Bunny Girl's with you, which is hilarious of a nickname.
Well, I mean, she kind of still transforms when she does her overdrive thing or whatever. She does turn into that the suit with the bunny thing, and I'm like, okay. There's
one thing I've noticed about Altina. She's going through where I'm at right now, like I said, Ash's hometown. She's basically Rin. She knows Rin better than even the Class 7 do, since she fought alongside him in the freaking Civil War. Well, not the Civil War, the conquering of the other side of the continent, of Crossbell. The Crossbell War. It's implied that she was with him during even the worst parts of it. Like, she saw all the worst parts of him in that war. Because you get it when you see on this DLC part, or the expansion, whatever it is, where you play as the Crossbell people that I have no attachment to, and it's like, why am I playing this? Why am I going for a gauntlet for people I don't care about? Give me my party back, damn it. I really was getting pissed. You remember talking to me that time, and you're like, oh, you're that. I'm like, I hate this part, I hate this part, I hate this part. Give me my characters back.
They really done goofed in 2 because they force you to start all over again with characters you don't even know the fuck they are unless you play the Crossbell game.
And the Crossbell games were never localized. Another problem, Falcom. Nope. We can only get fan translations, which is the awesome thing of the internet. And emulation. That's as far as I'm touching that subject. But to do it, even I can barely do it as good as tech savvy as I am. It's too complex. Hell no. But although Falcom, if you're going for the ports on the before you close up the PS4 generation, port Trails of the Sky.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, I want to do that on the PS4 because I don't want to be forced to buy a PS5 to play it on there.
Or if you do it on PS5 generation, make it so you have Trails of the Sky, Trails of Cold Steel, and the Crossbell Arc. All in one big bundle like Kingdom Hearts did. Would you go for that? If they give you one...
You're forgetting the one heresy. Sony still does it, and that's why I'm not buying PS5.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, yeah, with Sony, but I'm just referring to, would you prefer if they went multi-platform even with that? It's never really exclusive because even the new Yeast game is on. Isn't it on?
Go multi-platform, put it where I can experience it on older gen. I would be fine with that.
No, what I meant by multi-platform is like they even have it on your Xbox, the new Xbox version. Like the Kingdom Hearts did.
They're not gonna do that. I wish that.
It's an ideal, okay? It's an idealistic thing, and I'm looking at EA right now. You're giving me what I want with the Mass Effect. We're only deviating for a second because this is just a pipe dream on what from Trails. They're already giving me Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 and changing up the design of Shepard. Okay, that's for 3. I'm okay with that. Get rid of the ass shots. Okay, whatever. Now segue. If you can give us that, like if you're going to report old games to a newer system. Give us the freaking Trails of the Sky game. There are people who haven't played that. Because only the third one's released for PC. And you can only play the other two on PSP. Yeah. So, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So... Altina, I noticed is getting a character arc already starting in 3. In this one, she's a robot.
Marine scolds her to act like a human, and then she does.
Yeah, she goes, what do I do, Reen? He's like, I don't know. Think for yourself, Altina. You're not a freaking... You don't obey the workshop anymore. You're under... I feel bad for Rin. I really do. Not only is he being used as a political tool, and... He's got a fan. He has to also although I will say he's a hell of a lot better mentor than Sarah was.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck, man? You might as well be a better mentor. Why don't you just teach Ash and Julius a variant of the sword style you have? I'm pretty sure you're aware of how the dual wield Rin. You just excel in a katana and a because that's what that is. It's a freaking katana.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in this setting uses, in Trail, uses like broadswords to, a one-handed sword. Nobody uses a freaking katana. And Rin's like the oddball out, because even in the first game, everyone's like, what the fuck are you using? Let me show you how a sword's done. Rin will just pull up one sword style and be like, really? Don't underestimate my blade.
Let me know when you want to get to the gameplay, because, oh man, there's so much to talk about gameplay.
On gameplay, I'm playing it right now, so we're seeing some parts of the combo of gameplay. On the first 2 of gameplay, what do you think? 2 improved ones. Let's just say that.
2's gameplay, I like the, it was basically overdrive, and you can spam any art, you don't have to wait for it to be cast, and you just go do that, and then...
Hold on 1 second,
on top of that,
overdrive? I'm doing that.
Not overdrive, the special attack crass things as well. You can cheese it in there. And then on 3, you got the battle points, which are excellent. The battle points have very, very good abilities with certain characters, especially...
Oh, yeah!
Sorry, Muse's abilities for...
I already got Muse, there's no spoilers there.
And then, Yuna and 3, time barrier rocks. That's why she was in there.
By the way, Chrono Burst, most useful skill in the damn game. I would recommend, if you play this, number 2 or 1, get Chrono. What's the first one? The phase of
Chrono Burst. Please get that. Please get that.
Get it as fast as you can. If you can't get a hold of Chrono Burst in the beginning, get the what's the first one? Chrono something. I can't think of the goddamn.
Oh, it's Chrono. Shit, I don't remember.
Whatever.
It's a lesser version of Chrono.
It's a lesser version of Chrono Burst, but get that one as quick as you can, and then as soon as you find Chrono Burst, get it. Because that thing is king in this game. As a matter of fact, I'll show off how fast it is right now in the gameplay. I'm pretty sure Rin has Chrono Burst. Okay, it's an art. You go straight here, go to support, literally Chrono Burst. Do you see that? I am given 3 turns. That's how overpowered you can break the game with Chrono Burst.
So Chrono Burst, you can cast the art, and you don't have to wait a damn turn. You can just cast it right in there.
Yep, like you could use like your chance to use like an EP charge, restore your EP, and then use the same blast turn to blast an overhang attack. Literally, like you can chain like no other with Chrono Burst.
By the way, I just want to give a heads up, they don't change really anything in Trails of Cold Steel 4, so there's nothing you don't
No, I imagine they fixed the system, because it looks like they, well, I wouldn't say they fixed it. No, they didn't. The only thing they nerfed was Emma, but they broke other characters.
They gave all of Emma's back. Yeah, one thing for Trails of Cold Steel 4, everybody has their abilities again.
That's okay. Gameplay you can spoil the crap of in Trails of Cold Steel 4, okay, Libra? Gameplay has nothing to do with story, okay? Gameplay, we're free reign to talk about gameplay like no other, okay? If you want to talk about what they improve in gameplay, please do, okay? I have no problem with that.
Oh my gosh, that one freaking craft thing. Oh, I need to go back and find out what it is, but you give that to Emma, I was doing 40,000 damage. Again, 40,000+ damage to every fucking thing on the screen, including bosses. Yeah,
well, I imagine you earned that freaking trophy for over 1 million damage. Like one really quick because of that sucker. I'm never gonna touch Nightmare for 3-4. They just cranked it up way too much right now. Okay. Would you rather go through the Nightmare mode on Trails of 3, because I played Trails of 3, or play that Nightmare mode, or play the Nightmare mode you experienced on the Yeast games, just to get your true ending?
I'd rather do Yeast.
You serious? You'd rather do Yeast than Trails of Cold Steel?
Yes, because I mastered how to cheese the dive ability and the guard ability, so I can fucking do it now.
Oh god, dang it, man! Here I was thinking there might have been a way if I compared to Yeast 8. The reason why we're comparing Yeast is it's the same damn company, okay? Same people who make this make that, and it's funny is they turned Trails of into their flagship title. They're now known for not only Yeast, but the Trails games. And believe it or not, Trails games weren't known that very well. The only ones that were Legend of Heroes that came out was Legend of Heroes Tear of Roman, which I showed. I had it's awesome game for the PSP. Emulate that shit. Awesome. It looks like it's made with RPG Maker and really but it's got like one of the most awesome stories ever, and you can basically break the game. The final boss is a bitch though. So I'm gonna say is the final boss literally has these cheesy, like, cheap shot moves.
Oh, John. Oh,
no, we're in a room. We can come back to you later, John. We're still reviewing. We got like this is gotta be an hour. We got so much to talk about on just 1 and 2.
Yes.
Now we've talked about 1 extensively, I would say. What did you think when you got in 2, when you got more characters introduced to your party? In gameplay.
It was great. It was a blessing in disguise.
Like, you got to use Claire, who was always implied to be super strong in cutscene power, in 1. And then you find out she can be. I know
nobody likes Toa that much, but you can use Toa in there, and she's pretty good.
She only in the final dungeon. Spoiler, only in the final dungeon you can use her accurately.
I liked her. She was okay. She was definitely... she's not a Lisa broken, but she's got her perks. I will give it that. And then frickin' Sarah. Sarah was useful too. Combat-wise.
Oh, you can use the freaking princess.
The princess into was.
No, I'm just saying that's how many characters they give you.
Yeah.
I'm referring to characters in general that they give you. They give you a shit ton. Hell, I'm using Altina in this. This is a secret character that you can only use in this dungeon. You can use
Altina's good for 3 because she mimics almost the exact same moves as Milliam did.
She has Milliam's moveset and basically some of Emma's. She's and I'm like, that's a mean ass combo. Sorry, that's a mean ass combo. Okay, you nerfed Emma, but if I can make Altina more stronger than Emma, oh hell yeah. Especially since I can't use Emma constantly. That's the thing that's pissed me off about 3. I know we keep deviating to 3, and we always are missing a bit of 1 and 2. But 3 has a lot of, like, you know what I mean, game-changing moments. Like, you find out Rin is no longer Rin. He's practically a political tool. Everyone's basically telling him, hey, don't use ogre power. And he's like, I'm in situations I need to use this. Stop telling me what to fucking do. I can control it now. I'm not in Valmar. I'm in my base form. I'm basically turning Super Saiyan 1. If I was to literally give it a show an example, he's like, it's basically, I'm going base form Super Saiyan. I can control this. I'm not going Azaru form and can't control anything. And everyone's like, no! Although I do like how in 3 it's implied Altina knows more the ramifications that can do than Class 7. Well, I take that back. Emma knows it as well. Because she's a witch. Spoilers! But I caught that on really easy. I gotta say, the one twist I didn't see coming was the Vita twist.
Vita Collide.
Vita Collide when you find out that she works for Ouroboros at the, you know what I mean, in this specific scene. I'm just like, what? Huh? Vita? You mean the girl that was doing all in time that everyone was fanboying over? And Rin was always tuning in for? What the hell? Did you see the Vita twist coming in 2? Or 1? My bad, it's 1.
I don't think I was surprised. I don't think I was surprised Vita was a villain, honestly.
No, I meant, did you see...
Not really.
There's a few twists that even a guy like me who analyzed literature, to me, I just thought she was convenient. I didn't think she was a double agent like the Rufus thing. Honestly, I just thought she was a freaking... a witch. Just like Emma. She's a witch in hiding. You know what I mean? I thought she was like, you know, maybe a runaway witch. You know, like, hey, yeah, I have witch powers. I'm just gonna go in hiding. Because, you know, burn the witch trial, Salem witches. Sorry. I had to make the joke.
Here they come. Careful, everyone. Engage.
But the civil war that takes place in this is, you have to be a neutral faction. Am I just the only one that just it's supposed to be portrayed that the noble faction is supposed to be the horrible faction, and the Commonwealth faction are the good one. No, they're both horrible people. They literally want to how shall I bet, have sexual fun with one of the with one of the girls in the town, and basically it's okay, we'll bribe them off. I'm like, okay, they're horribly evil. So it would make sense that Rin has to create the third faction. There has to be a third faction, otherwise it becomes Warhammer 40k. Nobody wants that. I'm sorry. I was looking up like, what the hell? Did this turn to Warhammer 40k? Like everyone's just this evil. But
I want to talk about the one sin of Trails of Cold Steel 2. Like I said, the part where you play as these two characters and they have nothing to do with Rin. After you find out Reen's dad is, you know, fucking Osborn. And
Yeah,
then I play as these two characters, so I'm like, what the fuck did you do, Falcom?
That
like,
was the horrible timing. If that had been after the graduation, you know what I mean? As like an epilogue to the, you know what I mean, the graduation segment, after the reveal, time skip,
I would have been fine with that, but they smack it after you learn Reen's dad is Osborn.
I know, I'm like, what the fuck, man, Falcon? I don't know who these guys are. I'm Blake Crossbill.
And then they make you start again. Like, you have to, they don't give you any, well, I think in 2 they give you the bonuses of PS4, but in the PS3 version you were just fucked. You were just fucked, and I had to deal that shit.
Yeah, if I didn't have some of the DLC shit that, you know, like the stuff that lets me unlock the little freaking spear grid, because that's basically what it is. I'll literally call it a better version of a spear grid. If we're gonna go with some Final Fantasy stuff, it's literally a better version of the spear grid. If I didn't have that, I would have gone crazy in that section. It's worth noting, I was angry that entire section of this game. Then I get Rin back and I'm like, yay, I'm happy! Why are you pissed at... Oh, yeah, that's right, you do have a reason to be pissed at, Claire. I felt bad for that, I really did. Because I get she's under orders to keep quiet about that, but Rin literally takes it out on her, but I don't think she knew that that was the son, you know what I mean? That was withheld from everybody. Except probably Rufus. Otherwise, Milliam would have been just, yay! Milliam still is Milliam Smash. I'm gonna smash things. Rin and them, I love how Julius has to literally control her. Even in 3, she doesn't change. Her job is like, oh, can I smash it? It'll work that way. And Julius is like, no, Milliam, you cannot smash it. Control your urge of smashing things. And it makes it more hilarious is basically, because that's a running gag from the first one and then the second one. I'm glad they don't change certain character traits. They just rein in their impulsiveness because they've grown up, obviously. But I just love, even in the first game, it's like when she joins the crew and I think you were with in the Indian guy, Gaius' hometown. She's like, I'm gonna smash that wall, don't worry, we can get through it. I'm like, no. Rin and them are like, wait, never mind. They just like, never mind. we give up. This is pointless. Why are we doing this? And yeah, that's basically her moveset too, is Smash. Then you get a hold of Altina, which is a better melee version of Milliam. Who can use freaking magic, because Milliam was just a straight up tank. That girl could take
I use Altina major throughout the game, and Yunaka's time barrier. Spam that time barrier. You still there?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm trying to think of things that, although it's worth knowing, people are going to go, oh, they're going for the stereotypical archetype on every one of the class members. That's technically not true. It's basically a mask they first put up. You think Gaius, yeah, it's Gaius. Gaius, oh right, Eustace. Eustace is going to be the typical, stuck-up noble, when really he's nothing like his brother or his father. He actually doesn't mind Machinus. They have a very good relationship, even in 3 when they're older. Hell, he went out of his way to betray the noble faction and be semi-double agent in this game. And then Ren's like, hey, want to jump out? And he's like, yeah, peace.
Here they come. Stay focused.
Although it is worth noting, even Eustace was helping them from within the noble faction. Feeding them information anyway. So Eustace is not the typical stuck-up noble character. No, he actually learns in the first game, oh, the conflict, it's actually fun down here. I didn't know we could have fun here. Oh, then you find out he's an illegitimate child. Yeah, that was fucked up. Like, that's pretty messed up. And I like Machinus is originally, I hate nobility. They're all stuck-up people, and meets Ubixus and he wants to duke it out with them right there. And then they're like,
Hang on, Keo. Keep talking.
Duke it out with Eustace right there, and then it's like, oh, wait. I guess not all nobles are horrible people. Just about 80% of them. Which is probably not a good thing.
Alright.
It's like 80% of the nobility is horrible people, and then you've got the small minority, which would be considered Rufus if he wasn't freaking...
We'll have to fight our way through.
And Oliver's weird. I mean, I saw that when you get the airship. All that is, from a political standpoint, is a massive power flex on Oliver's part. He's like, yeah, dude, I have a freaking airship. What do you have? My airship's giant. You gonna mess with my faction?
He's got good intentions.
Yeah, it's a political power play because there's a lot of politics involved in this game. It may not seem it, but it's fairly political entourage. It's like Romance of the Three Kingdoms level politicals. Machinations in this game. Then you got the show in action to cover it up. Which in itself is good. Because if you just had a straight up nothing but political backstabbing, it'd just be your normal political story. I like the fact that you made it so I actually cared about when I got to see in part 3, oh, there's Sarah! Holy shit, your hair's grown. So that's what you look like when you let your hair down. Oh wait, there's Fee! She's a bracer now? She's no longer short. She's a lot more taller. There's Emma!
I like Fee. Even combat-wise, although I ditched her by 3 and 4.
Oh, in 2, you can break the freaking game with Fee. Oh yeah, that's true. Why don't you give the players of the female characters that are best to pair up with Ren and they perform broken combinations with? Tell them.
I don't know why they give all the females the broken abilities and the guys, besides Marine, they're all
ship rats.
Like, they're just not that good. Like, this, what the fuck? Like, really? Like, okay, Rufus, the noble guy, he's actually useful with his abilities, but other than that, everybody else is like poopy.
You mean Julius?
Or is it Julius? Yeah.
Eustace or Julius, one of the two. But that's it. Rufus is the brother, who's with the iron-blooded children. Oh, shocker! Sorry, I really had to be sarcastic when that reveal happened. To me, I literally dropped the call like, huh? And then we get the worst section of the game. And that section's like 4 hours.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it overstayed its welcome massively. If this was like an hour section, you know, that wouldn't have been that bad. You?
No, it'd be tolerable. Just be thankful you got all the DLC items on PS4, because I don't know if you would have put up with it on the PS3 version.
PS3, like, I would have raged. I would have rage quitted right there and never been able to see the end of the story. I have no shame in admitting that of myself. I would have rage quitted. And I hate to say this, one of the things in 2 is graduation. Now, I know that makes some people cry. I'm just like, it's a graduation. To you, it was one of the sad moments. I'm like, well, it's the end of the coming-of-age story. Maybe because I'm just that kind of guy that's just like...
It was the bond and the fact that they had to kind of leave and move on there. It was just, it just touched me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, God, damn. Although in 3, eventually they get back together, so yippee. Huh.
Yippee-ki-yay!
Come on, climb.
I could swore you...
Climb.
Oh wait, that's entirely different. That's, you have to talk to,
Oh, what are you doing, Kiyama? Oh.
There it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. The, X-Orb settings. Or was it the Purchase of Phantasmal Mirror? I had to look and see how much they... Yay! Those things are extremely ungodly expensive. I forgot how that is. I still gotta grind some more money.
Okay, we're somehow gonna find a way to fund you or give you Trails Cold Steel 4.
I'd much rather have a physical copy, but yeah. But yeah, I would say definitely the turn-based system's fun. This is like one of the most funnest turn-based I've had in a while. I played quite a few turn-based games. I eat turn-based games like candy.
Next turn-based game for me is going to be Chris Tales. Lovely indie-looking game coming out, and I think it's April or May. It's coming really close now. I can't wait. I just can't wait.
What, you got the new Adult game to hold you off till then?
Yeah. I'm playing it right now.
He's cursed. Whoop-de-doo, he's still a silent protagonist, probably.
Uh-huh.
Oh, can I say that's one thing I like about Ren is he's not a freaking silent protagonist? Thank you.
I think they do it on Adult on purpose for a reason.
Because it's a continuation of the trope they created back in the NES games. Even the God Eater main character you create talks for one line in the entirety of the game during the finale type thing, and it's using the voice you picked.
Yeah, guys, please check out the entire The Legend Heroes Trails of Cold Steel series, please.
Or if
you will not regret it.
Or if you don't want to go like all the way up till 4, just buy the first 2. The first 2 have a fairly cohesive closure ending, wouldn't you say? Yeah. It goes to their graduation, everybody goes their separate ways. Spoiler, but you know there's going to be...
Well, too, yeah, but I just think it's worth it to play all.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you owe it to yourself to at least go 1 and 2. If you don't want to invest the entirety of the series, you know what I mean? 1 and 2 go on sale a lot, on flash sales. The first 2 do. So, yeah. Pick up the first 2 at least. And then decide from there, because that's how I did it. I binged the first one, I binged the second one, then I got to the third one, and then my YouTube career blew up and never really continued to the third one. Then I found out the fourth one was coming out, and then I'm just like, ah. And then the rest is, as we say, history when it comes to my things. But yeah, Rin by far, I would say, of all the JRPGs characters I've had, he's within my top 10 of multi-layered, well-written MC characters in the JRPG genre. He's in my top 10. I'm gonna have to put down the top 10 list one day, but he is definitely in the top 10 list because that guy is... Yeesh. He's extremely well written. And what's funny is in the first game, he just comes across as, I'm gonna go around fixing everybody's problems. And that was a good choice from a storytelling perspective because you know why? It gives you a reason to care about all the other characters because when shit hits the fan, which it does, you're gonna be crying to man tears, especially at that graduation. Because you've grown for these two games and all the hours, minus the horrible section that was in 2, to care about these characters. So seeing them split ways, that's gotta hurt.
It does.
Oh, but then by the third one, they have the internet. I mean, they have Facebook. Or Instagram. Can we just say that by the third one they develop Instagram so they don't have to worry about actual graduation where you no longer keep in touch?
Hey, Kira, are we gonna cut off? I gotta listen to the buzzer.
Yeah, we're about done. Final thoughts on what you should say to people in Cold Steel. Would you recommend the first 2 to at least get introduced into the Cold Steel series?
Yes. Definitely.
And then once you finish 2, because 2 does give a good ending with the graduation, then you can decide whether you want to go into the 3 and 4 and go from there. Is that your recommendation? That's how I recommended it. Because that's how I played it and got invested in it. So... Plus, Libra pushed me into it. They're like, dude, have you played Trails of Series? I'm like, I think I played Trails of the Sky back in the day. I do play Legend of Heroes. Tears of Rose. He's like, play Trails of Cold Steel. You will not regret it. I'm like, okay, I'll go play it. And I don't. These first 2 games are really good. By 2, they fix every gameplay ROM you had wrong with 1. They fix it in 2, and they make it more funner. That's my closing thoughts of this review type thing we're doing. And if you want to hear more reviews with me on RPGs with Libra October in this format, leave a comment section down below, and this is how they'll pull it. Sorry you can't see it on live stream, whatever, but this is the only way I can record two-way person like this. I'm not too tech savvy. And then, anyway, this is your host, the Mad Reviewer, signing off. Libra October. Any closing statements before you signing off? Anyway, we hope you enjoy Trails of Cold Steel if you pick it up, and we hope you've enjoyed this review and our long talking. Till then, see ya.